Assalamualaikum and konnichiwa. Thank you for joining today's episode of Academy Speaker with me, Dr. Zalia. So it's been a while since I last posted. Thank you so much for continuing to tune in. Obviously, a lot has happened, majorly me relocating back to Malaysia and starting a new profession in academia. So there's a lot to catch up there and a lot to talk about. But for today's video, I actually want to dedicate it especially to the students in Malaysia who have just finished their SPM, which is the national exam for high school students in Malaysia. Congratulations on getting the results, regardless what it is. SPM is not easy, and having to sit for it through a pandemic is even a bigger challenge. So regardless of your results, give yourself a pat on your back, because you guys did a good job and now you can put it behind you and move forward. So moving forward, I myself actually started my Japanese language learning journey right after I received my SPM results. So I thought in this video we can discuss on how you can actually continue your undergraduate studies in Japan. So far all my videos are very MEXT related, and that is for the postgraduate level, meaning for your master's or your PhD. So this time in this episode we're going to focus a little bit on the undergraduate side. Alright, so how can you further your studies in Japan for your first degree? Well, obviously there are two routes. First one is of course the scholarship route, and the second is the non-scholarship route. For the scholarship routes, based on what I'm familiar with, there are two main scholarships that are available for SPM leavers. The first one, mainly the most famous or go-to one, is the Public Service Department, JPA and or MARA scholarship. So this is the one that even I myself managed to obtain after my SPM. Regarding the application process, I think it's quite straightforward in the sense that on the JPA website they do have their program Belajar Luar Negara, like their overseas scholarships, where you can even choose which country that you want to go to and apply. Then there'll be an interview, and after the interview and plus based on your SPM results, they'll let you know if you can go for their program or not. For the JPA and MARA scholarship, they do have a couple of different programs that you can apply for. The main one, which is the one I also obtained, was 2-year preparatory in Malaysia and 4-year degree program in Japan. There's also the degree transfer programs where you can do 3 years of your undergraduate here in Malaysia and then continue another 2 in Japan. And we also have for technical colleges, programs to go to technical colleges. This is not university per se, where you do your preparatory in Malaysia and you will go into a technical college, more like a polytechnic, when you go to Japan for 3 years. And if you do well, you can also transfer yourself to a Japanese university for another 2 years. So the JPA and MARA scholarship is actually quite well rounded, as it covers all your expenses. It covers a lot of things for you to get your first degree. However, the only slight downside I'd say is the eligibility part. Most of the programs are mainly catered for the Bumi Putra students, and from my time, I think the only one that are open for non-Bumi Putra students are for the technical college programs. So that part can be a bit difficult when it comes to applying. And because of that, another scholarship that students, especially non-Bumi Putra students, can consider applying for is the JASSO or MEXT scholarships. For JASSO and MEXT, just like the postgraduate studies, they also provide scholarships for undergraduate students. Now, these are of course open to all Malaysians in the country. However, I think the other challenging part compared to the JPA and MARA scholarships is, while the JPA and MARA scholarships, they do have quite a number of allocations. There's I think around 100 to 150 students who are allocated the scholarship every year. The JASSO and MEXT scholarships are extremely limited. For example, last year I think MEXT they only allocated around 8 students for the undergraduate programs, and I'm not sure about the JASSO one, but usually it's less than 10. So that part is a really fight for your life kind of thing that you have to work for if you want this scholarship. For the MEXT Undergraduate Scholarship, the process is quite similar to the Postgraduate Scholarship. The only main difference that I noticed is, of course, the subjects that you will have to take for the written examination. Postgraduate written exam, you only have to sit for English and Japanese. However, for the undergraduate written examination, you'll have to take additional subjects based on what you want to study. So if you're thinking of picking up engineering, then you will have to sit for the science-based papers such as physics, chemistry, maths, those kind of things. And if you want to go into the art stream, then you have to sit for the humanities papers such as geography, history, even politics, Japanese politics, yeah, those kinds of things. The interviews and the selection process, I think, is quite similar, just with slight differences, and maybe having to already sit for the entrance exam, because I don't think there is a research student for undergraduate students, so you will have to find a way, I think, in order to sit for the entrance examination. So I'm not particular in this part. I think you can read more about it on the website below. I'll link some of the JASSO websites so you can have a look. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's the MEXT one. For the JASSO one, the JASSO scholarship, I think, is quite similar to the MEXT one, but the only difference is, like MEXT, you can apply individually. The JASSO one, you will have to apply through a school. So all this information actually you can get from the JASSO website, and they have a pamphlet which actually puts down exactly all the scholarships that are available by JASSO or by MEXT, and also for other corporations. But the only thing about the part about for other corporations, such as foundations or rotaries, for their type of scholarships, those are usually provided after you arrive in Japan. So if you are a privately funded student and you have reached Japan and you have started your studies and you want to have a scholarship after that, there are plentiful of foundations according to region, especially, that can actually help you out with the living and tuition expenses. So the pamphlet link is down below. They do have all their application processes and whatnot written there, so you guys can check it out for more information. Alright, so that was the scholarship side. So what about the non-scholarship side? So the non-scholarship side, in my personal opinion, that I've actually known and seen people go through, and there's also actually two main options that people actually prefer. Not exactly prefer, sorry, two main options that people actually usually opt for. The first option is enrolling in a Japanese language school that can help facilitate your entry into a Japanese university. So one of the schools, if not the only school, that I think is providing this kind of service is my own alma mater, which is Pusat Bahasa Teikyo. So what they do is, if you enroll there, you are basically going through the same process that JPA scholars go through as well, where you will sit for preparatory for 2 years, and they can help you with arranging how you want to take the entrance exams, how you want to apply for universities. They can really help you with all of that. So that one, of course, preparatory in Japan for 2 years, and then doing your first degree in Japan for 4 years. And another non-scholarship route is doing your preparatory in Japan itself. So you can actually enroll in JASSO. So JASSO has a language school based in Shinjuku, and that was where Kohin actually did his preparatory, which is kind of like the same route that some MEXT students go through, where they come to Japan, then they have to do their preparatory for either 6 or 1.5 years. So on the JASSO website, that you can actually apply to become a student at JASSO. You can enroll there, do your preparatory there for 6 or 1.5 years, and also at the same time they will help you enroll or help you with all the things that you need to know and do in order to get yourself into a Japanese university in Japan. And like I said, if you can get yourself to Japan first and then apply for the private scholarships by local governments or international associations, that is also an option to help ease your burden of financial burden for your studies. In my experience, I have met people who have gone through all these different routes that I've been sharing with you, which is JPA route, or the MEXT route, or the JASSO route, or the privately funded route. I've met people who've gone through all this, so I know that it is possible for you to use these channels in order to bring yourself to do your first degree in Japan. And while I know that finance is a big issue when it comes to doing your degree overseas, I think one more important thing, especially if you do get a scholarship, alhamdulillah, that you need to bear in mind, but actually no, it doesn't just apply for a Japanese scholarship or any other, not just this specific scholarship. I think it applies to everything that you do, especially after your SPM, is to have the grit to continue with what you are doing, because it is not going to be easy. Learning Japanese in preparatory for the first 2 years of preparatory was one of the most hardest things in my life ever, and you can watch the video where I talk about that before. And it is one of the reasons that actually pushed me to want to do my PhD, because I want to know why I struggled so much. But if you do not, and you don't have to be super smart about it. You don't have to be the first class student about it. You don't have to be the ace. You have to just have the drive and the tak boleh malas. That's what I used to say. You can't be lazy. You can't be lazy. You have to push yourself and get yourself through the door in anything that you choose, right? You need to have the drive to get yourself through it. Okay? Failing is normal. Failing is something that you have to go through, okay? It's very different from high school, where you just think, oh, I need good grades, I need to pass this. Well, yeah, for university you do need to pass things and whatnot as well, but more importantly, that life after high school, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to learn. And I remember one of my English teachers did tell me before we left Form 5, where they say that university is going to be one of the best and worst times of your life at the same time. And I have to agree, you go through a lot of things and you have to experience a lot of things, so open yourself up to those experiences, and learn from them. You look back, like even now, and back then it's not so funny when it happened to you. Man, that wasn't funny, that was just heart-wrenching or devastating. But now when you look at it, you're like, okay, but that's what made me who I am today and brought me where I am today. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I think, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be coming up with more videos soon, inshallah. Good luck for anything that you are applying for. Links below for any information that you need. So take care and all the best. See you guys in the next episode. Assalamualaikum.